Today on the CTV News at 5, the number of candidates running for Lethbridge City Council jumps to 23. Plus, City Hall recognizes the arts. And stargazers start focusing on the autumn equinox.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The race for Lethbridge City Council is really heating up. Today, 5 more hopefuls threw their names into the race for a spot on Lethbridge City Council. That makes the total number of candidates 23. Keaton Gerberbach reports.
There's no doubt you've seen the election signs popping up around town, but you're about to see at least 3 more candidate signs making their way onto roadsides and fences. Former Global News Director Peter Days announced his candidacy at Henderson Lake.
I feel I'm uniquely qualified for the position because of my business background in managing people and finances at the TV station for the past 15 years. As a news reporter, I've seen how city councils operate. Now I want to be the person on council who asks the why questions.
Ryan Parker is running for his 6th term on city council. He's basing his candidacy on hitting the pavement and says he's learned a lot from his time on council.
You know, a lot of people are talking about Twittering and Facebook, and I do believe they play a huge role in an election campaign. But ever since I was elected, I've always believed it's all about the grassroots, about going door to door, talking to people face to face. Now that I have 2 young children, I see the world a little differently. I see the city a lot differently. I see the importance of parks, trails, our schools, of course.
Kevin Layton is another person vying for your vote. This will be Layton's 3rd attempt at council and says he wants to be the voice for those who feel they don't have one.
It's time that the citizens of Lethbridge speak up and speak out and make sure that their voice be heard. Don't just let the number of candidates say changes need to be made. The citizens of Lethbridge need to make their voice be heard.
All the candidates must file their paperwork here at City Hall on Monday between 10 and 12. Once that's completed, the official list will be released to the public at noon on Tuesday. Keaton Gerberbach, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The election is already a first, though, for Lethbridge's Aboriginal community. Martin Heavyhead Jr. has announced that he's running for City Council, making him the first First Nations member to ever run for a spot on City Council. Martin is currently taking his Bachelor of Science at the University of Lethbridge and is originally from the Blood Reserve. Martin plans to tackle the issues of poverty, lack of affordable and accessible childcare, sustainable development, and the need for current municipal food policy. And another Lethbridge City Council incumbent is seeking re-election as well. Jeff Carlson has announced that he'll be trying for a 3rd term on council on October 21st. Carlson says growing up in Lethbridge gave him so many wonderful opportunities. He wants to ensure that the current and future generations in the city have the same. Now, as chair of the Finance Committee, he also brought forward a 3-year operating budget, which proposed the lowest increase to property taxes in over a decade. The rain has gone away, and Dory, it looks like a fair bit of sunshine over the next 5 days even.
Yeah, it really cleared out fast. Right around 10 o'clock last night, everything started to break down. And then, of course, in the after midnight hours is when it really scoured out. Clear skies this morning, chilly this morning as well. And some areas to the east of us are going to be dealing with frost overnight tonight, but not in Alberta. I'll tell you all the details in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Dory. Well, today's sunshine has really helped dry out southern Alberta from yesterday's rain and snow. In Lethbridge, Wednesday's official rainfall reading at the airport was 63.1 millimeters. The average amount of rain for the entire month of September is about 48 millimeters. Now here's a look at the scene at Softball Valley yesterday. Parts of the sports complex were flooded from rainwater draining off the North Scenic Drive extension. Luckily, it was mostly rainwater. There wasn't as much silt and mud. Softball Valley suffered extensive damage back in June during the spring storms. The city is still working with contractors to come up with a plan to address drainage problems resulting from road construction. Crews were working throughout the day to get the diamonds back in operation. Despite yesterday's rainfall, the park is open for tonight's games. A sexual assault trial continues today for a former Tabor resident who was extradited to Canada from Greece to face the charges against 2 young boys. Jordan Van Roothuizen took the stand today. Jeanette Rocher joins us now from outside of the courthouse. Jeanette.
Well, Jackie, a very slow-moving trial at this point. Proceedings did get a little bogged down in the legal wranglings today. The accused, however, did take the stand as part of the defense's strategy. And while testifying, the defendant told the court that it was the alleged victim who actually made advances toward him. He said, quote, "He took a liking to me and offered himself to me. I said, I'm not interested. No inappropriate touching ever took place. I never meant him any harm," end quote. Now, Jackie, the trial was only slated to go for 4 days, but it looks like it will continue into its 5th day for closing arguments tomorrow. Jackie?
Okay, thank you, Jeanette. The alleged sexual assaults took place between 1995 and 2001. Several art supporters and a local artist were honored today at the Mayor's Luncheon for Business and the Arts. Peggy Mazie of the U of L Conservatory of Music received the Joan Waterford Memorial Award. Peter Fiornio was honored for supporting the arts by providing space at an affordable rent. The Business Award went to Geomatic Attic founder Mike Spencer, who not only provides a venue for performers and artists, but also holds fundraisers for community groups. The Rotary Club was also recognized for advancing and enhancing the arts in Lethbridge.
Art is everything. Art is architecture, painting, of course, music. Without art, we would be worthless.
First and foremost, I'm so honored to have received it. What it means for the arts in Lethbridge, well, I love the arts, we all know that. But I think the crowning thing, the pinnacle of everything that's happened has been the opening of CASA and all of us together.
It touches everybody, whether they fully embrace it or not. The arts is something that I think we all need to enrich our lives.
This is the 8th annual awards luncheon, which celebrates partnerships between artists, civic, and business communities. Rural communities across the province are pulling out their wish lists in hopes of getting a share of $250,000 up for grabs through a contest organized by the UFA. The Farmers Cooperative was formed in 1909 to improve conditions for producers and bring modern conveniences to rural areas. And now they're sponsoring a contest called Rural from the Roots Up, which will fund rural initiatives and community improvement projects. UFA says many towns are struggling for capital dollars. The company is already getting applications.
Within a week, 9 days, we've had 27 entries from across the province in a variety of different initiatives, whether it's the development of a new soccer center that burned down or a new ag center. Maybe it's a playscape project for a community around parks and landscaping. And we're really excited because those are exactly the types of projects we're looking to invest in.
The winning entries will be selected on the quality of application, impact on the community, and the long-term benefits. The first round of contest closes October the 10th, when one community will be awarded $50,000. That community will then help to choose the next winning project. This Sunday marks the autumn equinox, a time when the leaves begin to fall off the trees and the days seem to get shorter. But one local group is excited about the shorter hours of daylight because that gives them more time to look up and admire the stars. Brendan Miller has more.
As the sun sets in Popson Park, a group of amateur astronomers gather at the Old Man River Observatory for a night of gazing at planets, stars, nebulas, and galaxies.
There's perhaps 1 trillion galaxies, so we don't really run out of things to look at.
A recent open house marked the beginning of this year's stargazing season for the Lethbridge Astronomy Club, who prefer to peer at the cosmos under the long, dark hours of the winter sky. And this is the largest telescope at the observatory, known as the Celestron C14. It has the capability to look deep into space. With the right computer input, it can track and follow stars. The telescope records images that are saved onto a hard drive and can even be controlled with an iPhone.
There's a lot of things are still discovered by amateurs, and a lot of professionals rely on amateurs because we have telescopes in time, and the equipment now is almost to the professional level.
If I looked over there, I saw a planet way over there. And I looked over there and I saw the moon.
Since I was a child, I've always looked up and been amazed by all the stars. And the sky is so vast, like you just can't help wondering what else is out there.
Astronomers say humans have always been connected to the stars.
It's really part of our souls, and it's important to acknowledge it, if nothing else, and acknowledge our place in the universe.
But with the invention of the electric light around 150 years ago, these stargazers say we are losing that ancient connection.
we were part of the universe. We saw the stars every night. We saw way more stars than we do now. We noticed how they moved across the sky. And since we've invented the electric light, first of all, there's light pollution that's washed it all out, but we've become completely disconnected with something that's been part of our history for as long as we've lived on the planet.
Brendan Miller, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Let's switch gears now. All you need to get started in astronomy is a bit of interest. You can look up more information on the Astronomy Club online at lethbridgeastronomysociety.ca.